am Brianna, and today it is still June, and I am still playing along with 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. And today is day 21, and the sketch is exclusive by Crystal Barrett for 30 Days of Sketches. Look at this cute picture. So this is my dog Violet. She is a rescue. And I believe it was Eliza that held this up next to her. It says Happy Valentine's Day. Is Valentine's Day. It is a box of chocolate. But look, it looks like Violet. So I want to scrap this. And when I'm looking at the sketch, well, okay, back up. So what I did was I went into my iris bin where I have different holidays. And I don't scrap Valentine's Day very much, but look at all this Valentine's Day. And in fact, this is not even all it. What I did was I pulled out my 8.5 by 11 photo papers, which this is. And then I pulled out the scraps. And where is the rest of my scraps? Oh boy, I think I left them. So I had some scraps with purple on it, but I brought it over to my bigger papers so that I could see how these look with it. So I'll have to go get those and bring those back. But 8.5 by 11, so I know I want to use these as all the little strips that go behind the photo cluster. This is orange, and it says hello, and it's got the hearts. This is going to go in here as well. And then I went into my paper stash. This is in what's called my rainbow iris container because it's got multiple colors in it. And I like the idea of this because these are harder for me to use, but because of the orange, because of the purple and because of the red, I felt this would be a good start. And then I found this purple. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but it's kind of that graph paper. So I thought, ooh, that would look good in the torn corners where Crystal has her graph paper. This will make more sense when I have my purple and red pattern paper. And then I just went into my red and purple bins and pulled out some things. Now I have them nearby so I can have a lot more, but I just pulled out these thinking they can be layering pieces. This brings a little bit of the orange in. I'm not sure how much you'll see of that orange anyway, but those can be layering bits to this. Certainly can bring in more scraps. I have lots of flowers that I haven't used, and when I saw this huge red one, I thought, you know, Valentine's Day, what a better way to use it. And then I just went into that same flower package that I have and found more flowers to layer. Black wouldn't have been my first choice. And in fact, maybe I'll go back and look for a purple. We'll see. And then I found some flare. I'm not really a heart person. Is that a thing? So I don't normally scrap with hearts, but being at Valentine's Day, I think this would be a good choice. And it's got the purple. And then I have some of these Smooch, I Love You, and Hugs. So I think I might use those. And because I have those sparkly ones, this was in my red color binder it's just something I used a punch on, but it's that sparkly paper. This gave me the feel of red and pink. So I'm going to layer that if I can. And the other pieces are just fun, like XO, like you would do hug and kiss. This is a love. It's embossed. It's supposed to look like a stamp, 14 cents. This says family. We've got some arrows. This one says love. This says in red. Well, this is awkward. I thought that was perfect. And then if I can use these purple photo corners, I'm going to use those. Here's laugh in red. And this says our happy family, which, you know, it's in purple and she's part of our happy family. So with all that said, let's get scrapping. This was a fun layout to do. There is my purple and red and white paper. I really like red and white together, and with a little pop of orange, it's a very good color scheme, not something I would normally think of. So first I have to take kind of the branding strip. It's a paper pad, so it's kind of like the tear mark off of it, which leaves it less than 12 by 12, but there's no way you're going to notice that anyway, so that's okay. And then I go about tearing the sides. And I tear the first one, and this video is longer than my normal ones. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's because I was hoping I had more parts to like layer with. It makes it easier, but when you have to trim them all down, it just takes a little bit more time and it makes it a little more putsy for me. So I do trim that off first, and I'm going to fix it a little bit later. And then I go to the next one, and I think I'm being so careful and getting the white edge on the right spot. But I must have been thinking that I was saving the middle spot. So the white ends up on the middle, which means then I just have to trim that one spot. There you go. Trim it down. And then I end up putting, kind of reversing the whole, turning it upside down, because right now the little corners on the left hand upper corner, and the big ones on the right lower. So you'll see me flip it around. I kind of did an ATG. I kind of did a pocket with it. I didn't glue it all in case I wanted to tuck something, but I don't think I end up tucking anything at all. There I go. There, I just flipped it. So, and I clean it up a little bit just to give it a nicer kind of an edge. Get it glued down, line it up, and then start working on my photo cluster. And starting with the things that I know I want to use, and then keep referring to the sketch off to the left. So when I'm pausing, that's what I'm doing, is referring to the sketch. And I want to turn it, and I was like, oh, that doesn't work. The arrows are going to the left and right. And when it comes to gluing it down, I'm going to figure out that I can flip the triangle piece over with the orange, and oh, it's too hard to tear. And it's got the triangles are going the opposite direction, so that worked out well because I did want it that longer direction. So I look through those 8.5 by 11 papers and pick a couple out of there, kind of the more solid looking ones, the red one and then the pink one with the text on it, and those are going to be the ones I trim down and layer. In fact, I don't think I used the pink text. Maybe it's just the red hearts. I definitely want to use that little pop of orange, and that has a script on it that says hello. So I trim that down a little bit, and that's going to go horizontally behind the photo. And then I use the purple spot, and that's going to be my biggest one, I think. That also goes horizontal, and I end up trimming it down, not liking the way it looked, and then kind of cutting it in half and rearranging it behind the photo. And I trim that part just like it is in the sketch, although it's got that cute punch, like the notebook paper punch. I did not use that. I guess I figured I had enough patterns going on. It would have been cute too to use some kind of a punch, but I do like my border punches. I have a Cricut that I make things on, but I do love my border punches. So here's where I just I'm referring to the sketch, and then that's where I decided, you know what, it needs to be longer, it needs to sit differently behind my photo. So get the orange in there, put a little adhesive, lay it down like the sketch, and then tear it a little bit more, move it around, compare it to the sketch, tear it some more, glue it, and then probably just compare it to this. Oh, so I lined it up with the trimmer line so that it could look like one continuous piece of paper from behind. There goes that card. And then I use the card to kind of measure to get that red paper about the same size. I end up, I think, trimming it down a little bit more, but that was kind of my starter size because I didn't know how big I wanted it. This, again, would have been good to have smaller pieces to do this with. I just didn't have any scraps of Valentine's Day paper. But this is a great one for just scrap pieces of paper where you could just take what you got and layer them up and use them and get them out of your stash, which I love to do. So that one kind of scoots in, and I move it around a little bit until I get it exactly where I like it. And then wasn't happy with that. I wanted to make a little bit, hers don't touch. So the papers on the edges don't touch the cluster in the middle, and that's why I made my cluster a little bit smaller, or my edge paper a little bit smaller, but they end up touching anyway, which I totally don't care, but that's why I made it smaller. And then I just throw a couple pieces in. That tab goes in there with the sparkly. Definitely have to get that purple arrow in. I use this as my journaling spot instead of the strips that are down there. I know I want to get, there's an arrow that says fun, and I know I want those corners, photo corners, to get out of my stash. So here's the laugh piece that sits there for a moment. Just checking to see if there's anything else I might want to use. I grab my glue, that flower. That is not part of the sketch, but that is getting out of my stash as well. So that's a big win. And I have a little sequin to go on top of the tag hole down there. I pull out Smooch. I think that's perfect for over there. I've got the I love you up in the right corner. I don't know. I guess I didn't like the purple next to the purple flower, so, and that was the only size purple flower I had, so I put the red back in there. Get that part glued down. And it's just liquid glue to get those pieces. And then I use my dimensional tape for the flare. And I use my ATG to get the photo corners down, because I know those are going there. I use some liquid glue for the arrow. That's perfect. Really loving these colors, especially for Valentine's Day, right? I think it might be hard to use it for any other day of the year, but for Valentine's Day it works perfectly, especially with these cute puppy picture, this cute puppy picture. So now the Smooch sticker, these are super old, ripped in half, and I was gonna paste it together, and it wasn't sticky, and and I end up putting hugs there instead. But I do get the I love you down, which is going to need a lot of glue because it's not really sticky either. And I give up on the Smooch eventually after I put down the arrow that says fun. And yeah, get that Smooch out of the way. God darn it all. It would have been cute there, but when I have an extra sticker, wasn't worth messing around with. So hugs goes down there, and then those stickers have these cute little hearts, so I place those all over on the corners there, and it just gives it an extra little bit of sparkle and fun. Here's where I get more glue under those stickers so that they don't go anywhere, because they are not laying flat and they're driving me crazy. And I'm liking the way that this is turning out. And it might be coming up here. I'm not sure if there's anything else left, but I decided I need a couple of little splatters, which aren't going to be super obvious, and you might not even see them on the final page. But it's this Delusions spray that's got that metallic look to it, and it just gives it a little something fun on this already mixed media paper. I will get there eventually, I promise you. So here's where I'm like, am I done? Am I done? Maybe it needs a little something. And there is my splatters at the end, and it's the perfect thing. Trust me, you can see them at the end. Not, well, maybe not in the close-ups, but all right, check out everybody playing along below. Thank you to Christy for putting this on. I will see you again soon for another video.